What's up, everybody? It's Kevin here from Happy Beard Games. Today is a Friday, a Famicom Friday. Right here on my channel, Happy Beard Games, we play a Japanese region video game each week on that Friday. Today's Friday, we're talking all about the game X-Men, Children of the Atom for the Japanese region Sega Saturn, which is an arcade game in the style of Street Fighter 2 or Street Fighter Alpha or Zero, as it's known in Japan. And it's the first entry in the Marvel series of Capcom fighting games. In today's video, you can expect a little bit of translating and look at of the manual and case, as well as a bunch of gameplay of the arcade mode, and a little more look at some other X-Men games for various consoles. So let's jump in with this game, and we're playing this today because of the new series X-Men 97, which is a new series continuing the 90s X-Men cartoon that I used to watch as a kid. And this game, Children of the Atom, let's start with today's Hybrid Games Famicom Friday.
Famicom Friday.
Famicom Friday.
X-Men Children of the Atom Saturn で新登場 Capcom.
There's been many X-Men games with many different varieties and styles of video gameplay. Today's game is a tournament fighter game in the style of Street Fighter 2, but there's been other ones, of course, such as this one, X-Men Project X for the Tiger handhelds. There was also the Uncanny X-Men by LJN for the Nintendo NES, which I believe is more of a top-down shooter type game. Then you've got the side-scrolling platformer game on the Sega Genesis, simply titled X-Men. There's been other games throughout the years, including movie-based video games and RPGs such as X-Men Legends. But with today's game, X-Men Children of the Atom, it started a new series, Marvel vs. Capcom. It continued on with X-Men vs. Street Fighter, also on the Sega Saturn, which we have from Japan, and then continued on up through Marvel vs. Capcom on the Sega Dreamcast and arcades. It also continued on with a sequel, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which we've got here once again on the Sega Dreamcast, as well as the original Microsoft Xbox and the PS2. And then with the third game in the series, we moved up to a new generation, which was on the PlayStation 3. Before we begin with the gameplay, let's jump into the manual and do a little bit of translating to learn about the game before we play it. And there's some really cool artwork from comic books in this game's manual. We'll also take a little look at the back of the box as well. Now, we're not going to scan every single page into Google Translate, but we're going to check out the basics of this manual, then jump in with some direct gameplay. X-Men, Children of the Atom for the Sega Saturn. Little loading screen says the disc-based console. Alright, we've got 6 X-Men, including Storm, Iceman, Colossus, Cyclops, Wolverine, of course, and Psylocke. And then you've got the villains, which are Silver Samurai, Spiral, Sentinel, and Omega Red. I kind of feel like there are odd choices for characters in this one. I kind of want to go with Storm, but I kind of want to go with Wolverine too, so... Oh, I guess we're going with Wolverine. It ran out of time. So I'm going to put it on 1, which is the slowest of the turbo settings, so game speed settings, which is probably no turbo. Manual or automatic? I don't know what it is exactly, so I'll leave it on automatic. Automatic transmission, Wolverine. So we're going to the Samurai Shrine to fight Silver Samurai. Now I was going to say this game, I'm not really sure if I agree with the cast of characters in it, but I believe it's based on a specific comic run, or comic arc, so that's probably why they have those specific characters in this game. Now, this is the first time I ever played it, so I have played the Marvel vs. Capcom games a lot. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of my top played games in the arcades, specifically for a fighting game. It is the most played arcade fighter I've ever done. Well, that's cool. Oh, that was the auto then. Maybe not. I don't know. That's just a combo, I guess. I don't know what auto is. So with Wolverine, you've got his claws. And those are all the XYZ buttons on the top part of the controller. And then the bottom, we'll block that. You can jump off the wall, I love that. This is actually, I'm thinking maybe I should have put it on Turbo 2 or maybe even Turbo 3 later on. It's a little slow. Slower than I expected. Like, I'm used to Marvel vs. Capcom 2 speeds. Then the bottom buttons, the ABC, those are all kicks. And usually that's what it's like for a fighting game, but I guess since the Wolverine doesn't usually punch because he's got his claws, I guess that kind of counts as a punch. That's what they are. I think his moves are similar to his moves in Marvel vs. Capcom. I could be wrong. I like the background of the stage too. It's pretty neat. Very detailed with lots of little characters and parallaxing. Trying to back up so I can see what the L and R buttons do. Well, I don't think they're actually called L and R on the Saturn. Hit them with that grab. Oh, auto is auto block. I believe that's what it is. I didn't actually translate it like directly before I started playing. Once again, this is my first time playing this game. But I've played all the Street Fighters mainly up to this point. I've played all the other Marvel vs. Capcom games. Which, by the way, guys, I don't know if I mentioned this in this video or not. I probably did at the start. This is the first Marvel vs. Capcom game in the series, apparently. I mean, it's a little different because it doesn't have the Capcom characters, but it's a Capcom Marvel fighting game. So after this comes X-Men vs. Street Fighter, then Marvel vs. Capcom, then Marvel vs. Capcom 2, New Age of Heroes, then Marvel vs. Capcom 3, I forget what that one's called, Ultimate, I don't know. And there's Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, I think is what it's called, that's the fourth one. I think that's the main series, so after this it's X-Men vs. Street Fighter, then it's Marvel vs. Capcom, where it's not just X-Men, it's Marvel, with like Captain America and Spider-Man. And then the other one would be the Street Fighter characters, but then also going on to like Darkstalkers and stuff like that. So now we're fighting against Cyclops, the leader of the X-Men. He's a pretty cool character. I heard that in the new X-Men 97 show, which is new, which is the reason why we're playing this, by the way. I haven't actually started watching it yet. But I've heard that Cyclops has a bigger, or maybe a better role in that series so far than he did in some parts of the original 90s animated X-Men series. So, like, that X-Men cartoon, that was on when I was a kid, so, like, people have these generational, like, cartoon shows that they'll watch, like, basically in the 70s. If you're a kid in the 70s, like, born in the 70s, you would probably grow up watching like the mid-80s cartoon shows like He-Man and Transformers, which I watched those too, but only on reruns, or things like Thundercats. If you grew up and you were born in like the early 70s, you probably watched things like Scooby-Doo, or what's that show? Maybe like Speed Racer, stuff like that. But then if you were born in like the either late 80s to the early 90s, you probably watched at least you might have seen it on TV at least once, X-Men, as well as Spider-Man, the 90s version, which there's earlier versions of Spider-Man as well, but I think it might have been the first X-Men animated show. I could be wrong about that. There's definitely other Spider-Man ones though. This is really cool, the level, by the way. Just kind of playing it like casually though. Oh, wow, it's a big optic blast. Straight up. That's pretty cool. It's just a single button press there. That slash like that looks cool. I know. He blocked all those and kicked me once. I don't know how to use his special attack yet.
Round 3. Fight.
Maybe it's a combination of buttons. I've really tried that. Onto the C. It's cool the level transitions that much. You can see Professor X back there in the outside. I forget what this room's called. It has a specific name. It's basically the holodeck in your Star Trek, but it's the X-Men Marvel version of that, where they train and do other things. I think that's what it is. I forget what it's called though. It has a specific like name. I think it's used for training. Kind of lost track of what I was saying before, but there was a point to it. That it was basically like, yeah, this show and the 90s Spider-Man, which also they interacted, they kind of crossed over on those shows back in the day. They were something that was definitely on TV a lot when I was a kid, as well as other things like Batman, the animated series. Those were some of the big shows that were on TV for like superhero shows or comic book shows. And then, yeah, they're always really good. I don't think I've seen every episode of X-Men. I've definitely seen the first two seasons or so on Disney Plus, as they're listed on there, on a rewatch. And then I've definitely seen all of Spider-Man, which I've completed all that earlier last year. Toward the end of last year, I watched all of 90s Spider-Man, which there is episodes with X-Men crossovers in that too. And I think vice versa, so I think Spider-Man either shows up or is mentioned in the X-Men show, as is some of the X-Men appear in Spider-Man. That was easy. Now, I believe all these characters in this game are continued over and carried over into the Marvel vs. Capcom games, with I believe many of them retaining their same animation sprites. Like, definitely Spiral looks the same. It might look a little higher resolution on later versions, but it's the same animation, which is cool because it's a good animation, but it might be seen as kind of lazy, in a way. I mean, it's not lazy that the way it was created, but it's kind of lazy the way that it was reused. Something at her back there. Is that actually one of her features? Like her mutant powers, I guess? I don't know. I don't know much about a lot of these characters in this game, which is why, once again, I'd say I feel like this is a weird choice of characters for an X-Men game. You would think they would do some of the more familiar ones, like Rogue, or Jean Grey, or Beast, or Nightcrawler, or Gambit, or even Professor X himself. But they do have Storm and Wolverine. They're pretty well known. And then, I don't know if Magneto shows up at the end as a boss. I feel like he might. Like, if anyone's a boss, it's either a random monster thing, like in the Marvel vs. Capcom games, or it's, like Magneto, probably. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's just, it feels just like a Marvel vs. Capcom, so I'm kind of taking it pretty casually. Which is cool because then I can talk about X-Men stuff. Because I'm really interested in the X-Men 97, I hear it's really good. Which is a continuation of, like another season of the 90s X-Men, which is why they call it that. It's pretty obvious, but that's what it is. It has, like, looks like they did use a lot of computer animation in it, which I don't think did they use computer animation in the original? I don't think they did. I know Spider-Man definitely did. For, like, the cities, when you're swinging around. I don't know if they did in X-Men. So it kind of works, because the original, like, Spider-Man used that, too. Or the Spider-Man in that, like, canon part of the universe used that. And then there's things like, some of the new Marvel movies, include some X-Men either references or characters. Like, I don't know. I don't think it's really a spoiler, but Professor X is in Doctor Strange too. And every time they mention him, they gotta play the little mutant theme. Every time they mention the word mutant in MCU, even in Miss Marvel, they do that. And I don't know if it's a spoiler or not. I feel like MCU spoilers are like they're not that big of a deal, especially anymore. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's not that big of a deal to spoil it, especially since the movie's been out for a while. But Captain Marvel has an X-Men in it. Or not Captain Marvel, but The Marvels. The movie was pretty good too. I enjoyed it. It wasn't like super amazing, but it was fun. I haven't really caught up with all the MCU stuff. I haven't even seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3. But I did see The Marvels. I did see, what is it, the trailer for Deadpool 3, which Deadpool has Colossus in it. And Deadpool... I don't think Deadpool is technically an X-Men, but he is, he's always interacting with the X-Men. I'm a little distracted. There was like something falling off the roof or something. I don't know what the heck that was out my window. Okay, we gotta start this. If it lets me choose again, sometimes they do on Finding It, sometimes they don't. So if it lets me choose, I'll choose Storm. So I want to try their characters. Oh, sweet. Let's choose Storm. Oh, we can choose it the speed too. Let's put it on to 2, because it was a little slow there. I'll leave it on auto. Mutant building? Is that what it said? Or mutant bridge? I do like the music in this and the art style. The backgrounds look really cool, and I do like. I didn't really mention this too much because I was talking about other things, but the levels transition to other parts of levels, which is cool, because on your Street Fighter 2 and stuff, or even Alpha, which is at the time of this game, it was Alpha, I think this is before 3, jeez. It's just some mutant powers. He's doing that. And in the Street Fighters, they didn't really do that at this point. Oh my gosh. I know he's a heavy hitter, but dang, he did that suplex, like, or whatever it's called, pile driver, 3 times. That's what you get. I'm just spamming with wind and lightning. That's cool, I can sign the ground. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Let's bring this on. Boy, I almost did a perfect. I almost got a perfect on that one. Oh, that's cool.
Round 3.
Did you know that in, not in the MCU, of course, but in one of the Marvel Comics timelines, or one of the Marvel Comics series, I guess, Storm marries Black Panther and becomes the Queen of Wakanda? That's pretty cool. I don't know. I feel like there might have been a later X-Men series where they had that, like in animation. Or at least they went to Wakanda or had Black Panther. I don't know how early they did that character. But I know characters like Deadpool, which is what I was talking about before, was not around in the early 90s, like when the show is on. They get me both times. Oh my gosh. I thought I had another life for some reason. I remember the suplex. Yeah. It gives you a little hint on a move there, too. It was like, basically Hadouken, but with the X button. Let's try this again. I kind of want to be Storm again, because I do want to beat a level with Storm. It was nice having it at the 2 speed. The 1 is a little slow, the 3 is probably going to be a little hard. 2 is a good speed to start out with. I would say it's a good speed. 1 is a little slow, actually. Yeah, like, I think Deadpool, I didn't even start hearing about Deadpool until, like, not when the movie came out, but, like, maybe like 3 to 5 years before the movie came out. I think he's I'm not really a comic book guy in terms of superhero comics, but I remember seeing, like, the Deadpool comics, like, when I was in high school, or maybe middle school. So it was, like, definitely in the later 2000s. So I don't think Deadpool was as old as some of the other characters. Like even Cable was older than Deadpool.
You lose. Round 2. Fight.
Oh, you can do the super jump. I don't know what it's actually called, but it's like when you press down and then up real quick. In some of the Street Fighter games, and you go up real high. It's hard. I know it's Colossus, but jeez. He's just like revved up. Right here. Just want to get him out of there.
You win.
A little cheap what I did.
Round
Okay.
3.
I gotta really focus on this one. I still don't know how to do any of my special attacks. There's a shield I have up or something like that. Whoa, whoa, he's Marioing me. I didn't do too much damage, but it did do damage. Seems like he's like, when he does that glowy thing, it's like you can't hurt him. I gotta wait for it to wear off. Oh, I did something. What the? How did I do that? Ice Storm. Oh my gosh, no. Oh, he got me. I was very close that time. Dang. Let's try a different character. I just want to give her a second chance. I do want to play a Storm later on, though. Let's see, gotta get to the load screen. What else do we have? Iceman, Colossus is who we're fighting. I could try Cyclops. I'll be Psylocke for now. For some reason I thought Juggernaut was in this, but I guess he's not. I think I was thinking of Colossus when I saw him. Oh, it's called Mutant Hunting. I feel like all the Marvel comic heroes have like a theme of like an outcast type character or like a minority type character. But I feel like X-Men was the one series that did that kind of arc the best. I would say either that or maybe Spider-Man. But Spider-Man's not really necessarily the minority. It's just, well, he's just Spider-Man. He's the nerd that became the hero, but then he has to hide his identity. Kind of thing. Wow, I'm getting destroyed. Maybe it's not a good idea to change character. Maybe let's just go back to Wolverine. Let's try out her punch attacks. I don't really know much about Psylocke, but she was playable in Marvel's Capcom 2. In terms of comic book hero type stuff, I know nothing about her. Her animation is really nice in this game. I'm wondering if they scaled this down a lot from the arcade, because the Marvel's Capcom games that I'm familiar with, they feel like they have smoother animations when going for attacks. Or this one, it looks nice there, and on the idle animation where she's just standing, and even the walking too. But when you go to attack, it's just kind of sudden and abrupt. I wonder if that's scaled down from the arcade version for the Saturn version, or if it's identical, or if that's just something they added into it later on in the Marvel's Capcom games that I just wasn't aware of. I feel like she was smoother, or not just her, but every character in this game was not so instant looking when they do their attacks. I don't know how I did that just now, but I beat him. You know, the first time I got completely destroyed. I like those little character portraits. They almost look a little, well, the in-game graphics look a little anime almost, because there's a Japanese game from Capcom. But the those little character portraits look straight out of like Marvel comics, at least from what I remember. I had a few of them back in the day. Mainly X-Men comics. I think I might have had like one Spider-Man comic, and I definitely had like a couple Punisher. And I had, I believe, a Captain America something. But I think I mainly had X-Men comics at one point as a kid. And then I don't think I ever had a Batman comic. Like, it was mainly Marvel stuff. And maybe, want to say IDW, and then when I actually like wanted to collect comics, I didn't have any of those, but I have a few. I have a lot of Dark Horse comics currently, which is mainly Star Wars and the Buffy comics are all Dark Horse, or the later Buffy ones are Dark Horse. But that's not superhero necessarily. I think I've also, yeah, I've got a few comic books that aren't like manga. I've got a few other ones. I have some comedy ones, like I have Squee. I have some Squee comics, and like Yonan Vasquez comics. But I also got, I think I have some Army of Darkness comics, and I have some Xena comics. But I have a lot of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer comics, and I had a lot of Star Wars ones, but I'm selling those at my work. Okay, so this time we're going to check out Cyclops. Maybe the Optic Blast will come in clutch. Genosha, or Genosha, I don't know. Alright, it's time for today's Japanese Phrase of the Week, or Word of the Week, on this week's Famicom Friday. Today's word of the week is the word for Wolverine, the name of one of the X-Men characters that we played as in today's video. The Japanese word for Wolverine is Kuzuri, or Kuzuri. From Japan, this is how Wolverine is known. The Wolverine animal is Kuzuri in Japanese. That's our Japanese phrase of the week, word of the week, for this week's Famicom Friday. Let's jump back in with some more gameplay. I haven't really kept track of how many rounds there are, but I'm assuming you just go across the map. I'll also assume that you'd fight every character, maybe not necessarily all of them. There isn't too many characters in this game, but I think there's a little bit, maybe about the same as Street Fighter 2. Which I think, once again, Alpha was the newest Street Fighter at the time of this game. Or the Alpha 2, maybe. Yeah, probably Alpha 2. Alpha 2 was on Super Nintendo and Saturn. I think we played Alpha 2, but in Japan it's called Zero 2. Ooh, nice. Same voice actor from, some voice clip from, ooh, that was close, from Marvel's Capcom. Same kind of thing.
Round 2. Fight.
Oh, that was cool. I wish that would have hit. I was facing the wrong way. I think Cyclops is the Ryu of this game. Like, definitely. Like, look at that. It's like Shoryuken almost, and then he's got that, which is the equivalent of the Hadouken in this game. Okay, that was my bad. I didn't dodge that right. Yeah, I kind of get it, because it's kind of like Ryu, but I kind of don't get it. I'm not good enough to like do it system. Let's try it again with Cyclops. Give him another chance. This is on 1-star setting, so this game's kind of hard. I don't know why. Why does it feel harder than Marvel's Capcom? What I'm thinking is because it's you don't have a team. It's not tag team. I actually thought this would have been a tag team because X-Men are a team. So I thought this would have been like, maybe not 3, but maybe like a 2 tag team. But so far, if you like Marvel's Capcom and you want like a slightly different version that focuses only on the X-Men, this is the game to get. Of course, I would say, due to the prices of Marvel's Capcom, and even the price of this game, this is one of the more expensive Saturn games I have. Might as well just save up for Marvel's Capcom 2. And I've got that one on Xbox and Dreamcast. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Oh, I was going for a triple, but
You lose. Round 2. Fight.
I'm gonna really have to focus on this fight. How'd that not hit him? So you gotta get right in the middle. That's a cool one. Oh, that was cool. I'm probably gonna aim that. I'm not sure how that works. The Optic Blast doesn't do much damage. At least not to this guy. Yeah, I could kind of aim it a little bit, but that didn't do very much damage. I mean, it looked like it would have, but maybe just because I'm fighting a Sentinel. Let's switch over to Wolverine. That was a cool picture of Cyclops. On the character portrait, I mean. Kind of like the Street Fighter 2 defeat portraits. I don't really feel like playing these two. I feel like if I was going to play as someone, I'd want to play Wolverine, Storm, or Cyclops. The other ones I'm not as familiar with, so I probably won't even play as them today. But let's check out Wolverine and see if I can make it through this fight. Remembering, the top buttons are claw attacks. Bottom buttons are only kicks.
Round 1. Fight.
Mainly low kicks. Hey there, bub. Tornado Claw. You can do that with any of the buttons. Any of the claw attack buttons. There's just low, medium, high punch.
You lose. Round 2. Fight.
I'm walking over. Alright, we got him there.
You win.
Doing alright. We're tied.
Round
It's
3.
round 3.
Fight.
Don't do Tornado Claw. I mean, I can do it, but I'd have to do it as a combo for it to actually, like, not hurt. He just grabbed me right away. That's not cool. God, I can't get to him. He did extendo arms, just getting me. I think I can do it with Wolverine. I think I can do it. I just really gotta try this again. I would say that out of all the X-Men game that I have, that are like specifically X-Men only, this is the best one. Of course, if you don't like fighting games, you're not going to like this one, but I definitely think it's better than the... Well, the Genesis one was fun from when I played, so I can't really say that for sure, but it's just different. They're both really good from when I played, but it's definitely better than the NES one, though. I have a couple other X-Men games that I didn't show in this video, but I think they are for the Xbox. I think it's X-Men Legends. And I think I have the Wolverine, or maybe, no, not Wolverine, X-Men the Movie 2 game. Both of those are on the original Xbox that I have them on. Blocking. I feel like he blocks, and then he, after I hit, he'll, do this Stretch Armstrong on me. The only way I can get him is if he jumps up and then I go underneath his attacks and then hit him when he lands. He really did grab there too. Oh my god, he punched me when I was down on the ground.
Round 2. Fight.
We gotta get this thing. We gotta at least beat this thing. Oh, I can pin him with that as a grab? That's cool. A lot of this, I'm not sure how I'm actually doing it. I don't know the actual combos here. I do understand the grab to an extent. It's just like your Street Fighter grab, later ones. I guess there was a grab in Street Fighter 2. Let's go him once. There we go. Now we gotta do round 2, just as good as that. I do kind of get the tactic of like, if he jumps, then he'll do his stretch. If I go underneath the stretch, then usually I can hit him. He can jump in there, but he blocked that time. I can get him before he blocks. Oh my god. Oh my god. Or like I can get him underneath a shot that he like shoots above me or something. Up. Get up. Okay, that one he was gonna like belly slam me. And then he just switched over to a grab. Let's I feel like my best bet is Wolverine though. Yeah, I'm gonna try Wolverine one more time. If I don't get this, I'll switch back to Cyclops probably, because I did alright with them too. So let's try this. I'm gonna put it down to 1 speed. Just maybe that'll give me an advantage on this specific enemy. I think there's a lot more to do in this game, so we're not very far, so we might not be able to do this whole video game today. Yeah, I thought it's going to be a long Famicom Friday. There's a couple long ones out there. But more recently I've been trying to keep them under half an hour. Usually under 20 minutes, 25 minutes. But this looks like we're not even very far in the game. And it's hard. Not as hard as... Is that the hardest Sega Saturn fighter that I have? The hardest one I have is probably Golden Axe. But... played that one on a previous Famicom Friday and I wasn't able to... I don't think I was able to beat that one. I didn't make it very far at least. The Darkstalkers was easy enough. I beat Darkstalkers. I did Street Fighter 0 too. Not sure what else I did. It's gonna be really cheap. Get through this. Okay, there we go. That wasn't too cheap. I think I dived at him. I do like how it like it doesn't blink. Does it? No, you just jump back into the action. It's not quite as seamless as like Killer Instinct, where you just like one person dies and they get up and fight again. But I kind of like this better. But I do like how it doesn't like reload the screen. It's pretty neat. Fucking everything. I think I blocked it as one of his special attacks. One that uses super bar. Oh my god. Slam. I think we got him. I don't want to get cocky though. With the Z button. There we go, we got him. That took a while. I have a lot of points. Probably because I'm going on repeat. Well, in the background, the one gets destroyed, that's cool. Yeah, I think there's a lot of levels. Like you fight every fighter, I think. We've only done 4, and there's 5 left. Oh, the beach level. I did want to show you this. I saw this on the intro autoplay thing. It looked really cool. I like how he's in the word Iceman and he comes out. It's pretty cool. This level looked really cool. Not because it's ice, but it actually looks cool. This is ice on the beach. It's neat. It's good. And I believe it transitions to like the iceberg starts floating around. So this is the last level we're gonna do, I think. If you guys want to see me do more, might have to wait for me to get a little better at this game, because this is actually harder for me than Marvel's Capcom is. But in the future, instead of playing this, we'd probably go back to either one of the Marvel's Capcoms. So I have 1 and 2 on the Japanese Dreamcast. And then, we already did X-Men. Wait, no, we didn't do it. We didn't do X-Men vs. Street Fighter. So the next one we'd probably do would be X-Men vs. Street Fighter, which I believe is on the Saturn. Japanese Saturn is what I got it on. But the Marvel's Capcoms are on the Dreamcast. They're supposed to be like arcade perfect ports. Which I think I checked out the Dreamcast one. It's a little different than the Xbox one. It has different unlocked of the character styles. The way you unlock them is different than the Xbox console version. The Dreamcast one is a little bit different. I know which one's the better version. I hear the Dreamcast one's good, but then it's also like a controller preference. So I kind of like the Xbox one more because of the controller. Not only that, I've got an arcade stick for the Xbox, but I actually have an arcade stick adapter for the Dreamcast too, so it doesn't really matter. Features now. Oh, that ice thing can like go forward too? Okay, that like counter is really neat for Iceman, but it's gonna get me. I'm trying my best. Dolphin! It's Echo! It is Echo! I don't know, he made like an ice sculpture of himself, I guess is what that is? I don't really know much about Iceman's character. I think we're gonna end it here. The video's been going on a little long. But I do want to say this game is fun. It's a challenge. And it's got a lot of cool X-Men visuals in it. Not just in the characters, but in the backgrounds of the stages and the stages themselves. Go ahead and enter my initials. Happy Beard Games. And let's check out if there's anything else to do in this game. I think everything else is locked behind 2-player. Aside from survival. We're not going to do survival, because it's pretty much like arcade, so... Hey, we got the most winning any wins, so that's pretty neat. And it does save the, or it should save the high scores, because I have the Sega Saturn, which has a little tiny hard drive, or memory at least, as well as the Action Replay, which you can copy to, like a memory card. This is a cool little intro that intercuts like animated stills with some of the gameplay, so it's pretty neat.
X-Men.
It is weird that the title intro for the animation part says X-Men. When you press that, it just says X. On the actual title screen, it says X instead of X-Men. Alright everybody, that's it for today's video game right here on Hybrid Games' Famicom Friday. We checked out a quick play, some translating, and even the Japanese word of the week on this week's Famicom Friday. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Please leave a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe today for more classic gaming goodness right here on Hybrid Games. Stay tuned for more Famicom Fridays. Alright everybody, thanks for watching once again. Bye!